Alright guys, it's Nick here and I'm doing a DVD and Blu-ray update. I've got so much shit to show you today, it's ridiculous. I got up early this morning and I went to the car boot. I did film a little video when I was out doing the car boot. The introduction's alright, the rest of it's pretty crap. I'm not very good at this, holding my phone while I'm looking at stuff malarkey. I might cut a few bits into the video, but I might not. I'm probably just going to do this. It's going to be a long video, this, because I have so much shit to show you guys. It is ridiculous. Got the stuff I picked up at the charity shops in the week like I normally show, and then I've got all this stuff I found at the car boot today, and a few other bits. I've been to some shops as well, so I bought some stuff retail as well, full price, well not full price, but some stuff in supermarkets and that as well. So we'll start off with the stuff I picked up in a week, then we'll move on to the Blu-rays, and then we'll move on to the car boot stuff I got today. As always, it's predominantly horror, but there are a few non-horror bits in here as well today, so I'll try and get most of the non-horror out of the way first, and then I'll move on to all the horror. So, beginning of the week, I managed to get 3 Studio Ghibli movies in a charity shop for £2, and I got Spirited Away 2-disc. I'm able to Toro. We've already got this, but you know, I'm not going to leave them there when they're a charity shop for that price. And I also got Ponyo. So there was those 3. I've got a story to tell about them. You'll see in a minute. Blu-rays, obviously, you know, I might be a massive horror fan, but I'm also a huge Disney nut. Massive Disney fan. Always have been. And it's part of the reason why me and my girlfriend are together, because we both love horror and we both love Disney. We go to Disney World every single year. I've been 5 years on the trot. She's been 20 odd on the trot. Yeah, we're obsessed with Disney, and I picked up Moana because it just come out in the UK now. Saw this at the flicks, absolutely love it. It's one of the strongest Disney films I'd say since Lion King. It's that good. The songs are epic. Went out yesterday. I bought my girlfriend's just got herself her first car. So yeah, I went and got a CD for a car as well, because the soundtrack's really cool. Yeah, The Rock's good in this. It's just a really strong Disney film. I mean, I don't know if some of you follow me on Facebook, and I won't go too much into this because this is predominantly a horror channel, but obviously, like I said, I'm a massive Disney fan. I think Frozen is the worst film Disney's ever made. It offends me. I hate it that much. And I think they've, since then, I don't know why that film was so popular, because it's awful. But it's like, since then they have picked up. Big Hero 6 was great, Zootopia was great, so you know they are starting to rise back up again. But yeah, Moana is, like, I think one of the strongest, probably one of the strongest, probably the strongest CG movie they've made. But yeah, I love Moana. Another charity shop buy, another non-horror one. This is a Blu-ray. I paid £2 for this, and I couldn't let it stay on the shelf. I might keep them. I definitely want to watch a couple of them with my missus, because I've only seen a few of these, but I probably will just resell this. I've already listed it on Spock anyway. But that is Forever Marilyn. It's the Marilyn Monroe box set. I mean, £2 for a Blu-ray Marilyn Monroe box set. It was like stupid leaving it there, so I picked it up. In this one you get Some Like It Hot, The 7-Year Itch, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and How to Marry a Millionaire. I've seen Some Like It Hot. I love it. I've seen it a few times. I remember watching 7-Year Itch when I was quite young. The others I've not seen. I've seen clips of them, but I've never seen them. You know, I mean, it's Marilyn Monroe. I do like classic movies, believe it or not. I don't talk about them that much, but I do enjoy my classics. But when I talk about classics, I'm more into things like Hitchcock and stuff. My girlfriend's a massive Cagney fan. She's got a James Cagney tattoo, and we've got Cagney posters. So, you know, I'm more into those sort of stuff than Marilyn, but it'd be interesting to check these out, because I've never really watched them all, and being a film fan, you should really see them all. Right, these are the Blu-rays I grabbed at the car boot. Then I'll go back to charity shop finds, and I'll do the car boot DVDs at the end. So yeah, I picked up, as you know, Spirited Away on DVD the other day. Well, I managed to get it on Blu-ray as well today at the car boot for 50p. 50p for Spirited Away on Blu-ray. It was like, you know, nonsense to leave that there, so I'll pick that up. Next to, then this is like addiction really, this is impulse buying. There's 2 films that I'm not really that bothered about, but they were 20p each at a car boot, and I just thought I can't leave Blu-rays for 20p. I'm a fucking addict. The Road, I watched it when it came out. I remember it being good but fairly boring. But it was 20p. I was just like, yeah, I bought that. And I also picked up Where the Wild Things Are. That was 20p as well. Again, I remember being really disappointed with this as well. But 20p, I just couldn't leave them there. And then this one was 50p, and I haven't actually seen this yet. I've been wanting to watch it. So someone did give me a digital code for it ages ago, so I've got it digitally, but I still hadn't. I thought, well, on Blu-ray 50p, and that's straight out of Compton. So that is basically all the non-horror out the way, I believe. Yeah, I picked up a copy of Problem Child as well for 10p, but I'm not going to show you that. So now we're on to the horror, and it's all DVDs, and it's a mixture of charity shops, supermarkets, Amazon, and then of course car boot. So we'll start from the bottom of the pile. Copy of May. I've had this before. I thought I still had a copy, but couldn't find it. So yeah, I got this in the charity shop, 50p in a week. Good film. If you've never seen it, if you like quirky horror and quirky movies in general, then May is definitely worth checking out. Basically, it's this girl. She's got social issues and stuff, and not had a very good childhood. When she grows a bit older, she wants a friend because she's really lonely. So she starts basically like hacking people up to make a perfect friend. It's one of Lucky McGee's earlier flicks. Yeah, it's a good film. I'm sure a lot of people have talked about May on here in the past, but yeah, it's May. This next lot I got, like, I think it was like 5 for £2. Yeah, it was 5 for £2 in the charity shop, so bargain. I got He Never Died with Henry Rollins. I started watching this on Netflix about a year ago. It was late at night, so I didn't get to watch all of it. What I saw, I really enjoyed. So did the missus. So got it on DVD now. I can finally like finish it off. But what I remember of it was really, really good. This was game. This was like 5 for £2. So Jekyll, the TV series. Didn't watch this. Remember the trailers for it. Was always quite interested. I quite like that guy, James Nesbitt, whatever he's called. Yeah, you know, British sci-fi horror, Dr. Jekyll retelling. This one I've never heard of, but again, I say it's part of this 5 for £2 deal. And when you've got TV shows in there, you can't like just let them sit there. So I got one called Helix. Looks like a sci-fi horror get up. Don't know much about it. Never heard of that one. These next two I was really happy to get because of these are Sci-Fi Channel series based on a series of Sci-Fi Channel movies that I really enjoy. It's The Librarian. These are Librarians. I've got season 1 and season 2. Yeah, I like the movies. I like that Noah Weil guy. You know, it's like people hunting and protecting like mythical creatures and objects and stuff. So yeah, I thought like, I mean, you know, that was like that whole haul cost me £2. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, you know, I could resell these for like £5 or £6 each. When I went to get Moana, they had this for £2 in the supermarket. I watched this about a month ago. I was really excited for this film, and I enjoyed it. I did really enjoy it, but it just wasn't quite what I was hoping for. I really was hoping for a really solid 80s throwback flick, and it just didn't quite hit the 80s levels I wanted it to hit, and that's Beyond the Gates. It was good. I'm definitely going to give it a rewatch. Nice slipcover edition as well. Yeah, it wasn't quite what I wanted it to be, but it was still good, and so I would definitely give it another go. This one we scored. Me and my girlfriend went to do a little bit of food shopping, and we're in Asda, and I had to go and have a look because there was some cheap DVDs in there. And I'd never heard of this, and it looked interesting, and it was like £3, I think, or £2, yeah, £2. And it's Imaginarium: The Other World. It's kind of like a fantasy horror. I haven't watched it. I put it on, and the first 10 minutes were really good. And my girlfriend was like, "I want to watch this," so I said, "Right, I'll save it and we'll watch it together." So I watched it one night when Jade's not at work. Yeah, it's about a guy, an elderly man who's got dementia, and he goes back into his like a child to when he was a child, really, and he starts going on these adventures with this like creepy Jack Skellington-esque snowman. It looked pretty cool. The vibe of it, from what I watched, looked pretty good, you know. And it's been at a fair few festivals and stuff. Hadn't heard of it before. Sounds interesting. So going to give it a go. And this next one, last Sunday or Monday night, Extro from YouTube and on Facebook posted about this movie on Facebook and basically said it's really good and he really wanted people to check it out. And I trust his opinion, have done for years, always liked watching his videos and, you know, hearing his recommendations and that. So it intrigued me because I don't watch a lot of found footage movies, and I watched a few good ones recently, so I've started like piquing an interest in them. Anyway, he mentioned this, so I picked it up. Basically, he was saying it was only like digitally available in the States, but there is a Region 2 release of it. So I went on Amazon and found it for £1. So £1. I ordered it. A couple of nights later, it arrived, and I watched it, and I was blown away by this movie. It really was. It's Evidence. It's a 2012 movie directed by a guy called Howie Askins. Right. So yeah, you've got very generic sort of horror cover, you know, modern horror cover. The first hour of this movie is a bog standard found footage movie. You'll be scratching your head thinking, why are people recommending this movie? It's not terrible. It's not terrible at all, but it's just like found footage by numbers. A bunch of 20-somethings go into the woods. Some creepy stuff happens. You know, their campsite gets tampered with, their car gets tampered with, the usual. And you think, right, okay, what we in for here? Then the last 40 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is, fucking hell, batshit insane. This film is insane. It's brilliant. It's really hard to like talk about it without really sort of spoiling the film. It's a film of two halves, that's what I'm going to say. The first half sets it up perfectly, giving you that generic found footage by numbers and then throwing you into something completely different in the last half of the film. Works so well. It's probably not for everybody. You know, obviously it's found footage, it's shaky cam city, but fuck me, the last half of this film is mind-blowing. It's not what you expect at all, and I was just thoroughly blown away by this film, really was. Can't recommend it enough. Go check it out. If you've seen it, let me know what you think, because I was blown away. It's another cool thing about it as well. When the film ends, the story continues through the end credits as well, which I thought was a really, really good deal too. Definitely check this film out, guys. I cannot recommend this movie enough. Alright, and that's Evidence. Okay, so we've got the first sort of half of it done. I'm gonna just have a quick vape. I've got juice box apple flavoured apple juice. This just tastes exactly like cartoned apple juice. This juice is fucking amazing. It used to be quite expensive, but I got it really cheap. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a quick vape, guys, and then I'll move on to the rest of it. Okay, so now we're on to the car boot stuff, and I got a ton of cool shit from the car boot today. Right, as you know, I basically, most of my DVDs, I won't pay a lot of money for them. You know, if it's something I really want, then I will spend. But in general, I mean, I don't have a lot of money because I've got my fingers in so many pies. You know, make movies and I go on holiday a lot. So yeah, so I don't pay a lot for my movies these days. It's just the mentality I have now. It's like I buy them from charity shops, I buy them from car boots, and anything over £1, if it's a second hand, is too much for me, to be honest with you. So most of these I paid literally pittance for. I mean, I walked away from some good titles today because people wanted like £1 or £2 for them, and I just won't pay it because I know I can get it cheaper, unless it's something, you know, I know. Obviously, if it's like a half decent Anchor Bay title or something like that, I'm gonna, old Anchor Bay or a Region 1 or, you know, good horror, I'm gonna pay £1 or £2 for it. But if it's something that I know I can find in a charity shop a few months down the line for 50p, then I'm just gonna leave it. There was one guy, and I was really impressed, and I basically broke my rule here. I actually paid £2 for a DVD. It's the most expensive thing I brought at the car boot today. and that was a copy of Don't Breathe, and it's still sealed. I mean, that's only just come out, so that was worth paying £2 for. But everything else, you know, is pretty cheap. Saw this film at the cinema, really enjoyed it. One of my favourites of last year. Didn't think it got in my like top 10 of last year, but it was close. I did really enjoy it. I thought it did lose it a little bit towards the end, but it's got some like extra features and stuff on it. I mean, I would have rather had this on Blu-ray, but for £2, you know, brand new sealed. So that was my like most expensive purchase of the day. Everything else, like, I was buying them free for £1, 10p each, 20p each. I can't even remember what I paid for half of them, but say it was all under £1. I think this one woman, I think she did me five. She did me £5 for £1. Yeah, £5. I think she did me. This first lady did me £5 for £1. So I got Legend of Horror Woods. Never heard of it. It's a 3D one. I think I just put this up just to get the extra one to make it up to my £5 for £1. 3D glasses in there. Never heard of that one. If anyone's seen it, let me know. Been interested in giving this a watch because I'm getting really into Eduardo Sanchez stuff at the moment, and that's Lovely Molly. I've heard about it. You know, I did think that other one he did, that Seventh Son or anything, was shit, but I love Blair Witch, I love Exists, so I'm getting into my Eduardo Sanchez at the moment, so I'm going to check that one out. Copy of The Leprechaun, the original. Again, it's like £5 for £1, so why not? The Covenant, I remember this being pretty naff, but I don't know, I want to give it another watch. It's been a few years since I watched it. I remember the bit at the end where they're fighting was quite cool. Copy of Convent. See, I haven't seen this one around in years. This is what dragged me to the table, to be honest with you. So yeah, I like Convent. I haven't seen it in a long time. Pretty cheesy but good fun. This is one that my girlfriend is going to be over the moon with. We all have our favourite horror flicks and stuff we collect multiple versions of. My girlfriend, she collects multiple versions of the movie called Slashers. It's a cheapish horror flick. Came out probably about 10 years ago, or maybe longer than that actually. And I found her another edition that I didn't even know they put it out. Redemption had done a release of it. I mean, the normal one you could get in Poundland for a fair few years, then they re-released it and you could get that version in Poundland as well. And now there's a Redemption release of it. I did not know that Redemption picked this up. And it really doesn't seem like the sort of film that Redemption would put out, to be honest with you. It's not like particularly sleazy or like erotic, or doesn't have any nuns or nurses or anything in it, or vampires. But yeah, Redemption release of Slashers. Never knew that existed. My girlfriend's going to be over the moon when I wrap that up for her and give that tonight. It's got some extra features on it. I need to compare it with the other ones. This film came out in 2001. Yeah, I need to compare it with other editions to see if it is. But yeah, if anyone's got editions of Slashers from any country in the world, please hit me up, because of so Jade does collect these. She really enjoys this film. She even runs like a Facebook page based on this movie. She really does like this film a lot. So yeah, if anyone's got any copies of Slashers, please hit me up, because I'd like to get her some different editions. Like, I haven't even got a Region 1 version of it, so I think she got about 3 or 4 different UK releases so far. But yeah, it'd be nice to get some more of them. So yeah, always on the lookout for copies of Slashers, guys. So that's the Redemption release of that. These ones were all 10p each. So I got My Soul to Take, Wes Craven. It's alright. I remember watching it when it first came out, didn't like it. I rewatched it a few months later and I didn't mind it. Cheesy teen stuff, but yeah, it's not bad. And I'm going to be doing a new series of videos on here called Pretty People Die, where I'm going to review pretty people slasher movies and stuff, so it's be a good one for that. The Children, I've heard of it, never watched it. Like, they're all 10p each, so went for them. Basic Instinct 2 and Basic Instinct 1, 2 disco. And last of the 10p ones was Dress to Kill. Yeah, De Palma. More of a thriller that, but yeah. Okay, now we get some fairly good stuff here. We got Madman, the UK Anchor Bay. I've got this edition. I've got the American edition. I've got the Arrow Blu-ray, but when it's at a car boot and it's like 50p or something, you know, you've got to pick it up really. So Madman Anchor Bay might be a replacement for my other one. This film is a fucking wicked little slasher. I've had it in the past, and yeah, I got rid of it at some point down the line for some stupid reason, but I'm glad I got it again. You used to be able to get this in Poundland, but still, if you ever see this movie, pick it up. And that's Simon Says. This is a brilliant slasher with Crispin Glover, and he's fucking excellent in it. I remember someone gave me a copy of this years ago because they said, I'll give you some old crap horror movies I got. This ain't crap. This is fucking well good, this film. I'm looking forward to revisiting this. Yeah, if you've never seen it, check out Simon Says. It's brilliant stuff. Crispin Glover's batshit mental in it. Beast Must Die. Brilliant Amicus film. I've had other editions of this in the past. This is the one that had like, I think it had like different endings. So it depends who the beast was, if I remember rightly, something like that. Really cool movie. It's got Peter Cushing in it. Yeah, it's basically like these people at his house and there's a werewolf. If you've never seen Beast Must Die, it's a really cool flick, and that's a nice old Anchor Bay release there I've not had before. This one, I was actually at the premiere, UK premiere for this in 2010 at the Gore Zone Film Festival in London. That was a good festival if anyone remembers that. Sorry guys. Yeah, it used to be run by Gore Zone magazine, and Emily Booth used to present it. Really good little festival actually. No one talks about it. I mean, Gore Zone magazine wasn't the best. It wasn't like the original American version. It was pretty poorly written, but it was a fun little mag, and you know, they used to support indie quite a lot. Yeah, their Gore Zone Film Festival in 2000, it ran for a few years. I went in 2010. They premiered this. This was like the first film of the entire festival on the Saturday morning, and that's Blood Night, the Legend of Molly Hatchet. This is a really good flick. It's a low budget slasher. It's got Bill Moseley in it. He plays this like creepy janitor guy. It's a really cool film, this. It's pretty fucking, although it's quite cheap and silly, it's pretty fucking brutal as well at the same time. It's a good film. Yeah, if you've never seen this, I mean, I saw it at the film premiere, then like last year we were on Amazon Prime and I found it on there and I put it on for Jay to watch because she'd never seen it and she liked it as well. Yeah, Blood Night, Legend of Molly Hatchet, definitely worth watching this film, man. It's a good flick. It's a really good flick. Oh, Mary Hatchet, not Molly Hatchet. And then I got a cheapo release of The Burning. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the transfer's like on this. I remember in the early days of DVD there was a fair few of these cheap ones of The Burning. I'm not sure what the quality is going to be like, but I like The Burning. I like the cover art. I haven't got the is it Arrow that put it out? Is it Arrow or 88 Film? I'm sure one of them will put it out like a decent print, but yeah, I surprisingly didn't have The Burning in my collection, so got it. Well, actually I think I got a VHS of it. Just a few more, just a couple more. Won't show all of them because they're not worth showing. No. Like I said earlier, I got Problem Child. Yeah, that's all you need to. Yeah, there's a couple of little cheapos I got, like just case upgrades and stuff like. I'll show them off. Aliens, just I got one that's in a tatty case. Blade, it's a nice condition version of it. And Black Swan, that's better condition. We got the double pack of Black Swan. I've now got the single disc. We shared another one that's Black Swan and something else on the packet. They were 10p each, so just picked them up. Right, yeah. So the last couple, Candyman. I could swear blind that I picked these up when I was out today, and They were 10p each, but I thought I already had them. Like those other ones, I just picked them up just because they were 10p each, and I could like swap the cases over if they're better condition than the ones I've got on the shelf. I can't find any of the Candyman films on the shelf. I know we've got them, but I don't know where they are. So they might be like in my. I've got going into another story now, guys. Basically, my DVD and movie collection's all over the shop. I've moved a couple of times. I've got rid of a lot of stuff. I've picked up a lot of stuff, and we only live in a one-bedroom flat. And over the years, I've gone through phases where I've like packed my DVDs away, and then I've pulled them back out and put them back on the shelves again. I've got like a couple of like 500 disc DVD folder things. They're full of movies, and I've got covers in all of them. I've got movies stashed in boxes in the cupboard. I've got another bookcase at that end of the room that's full of movies. I've got movies underneath the couch. I've got movies in the drawers. And it's quite nuts. A few months ago, I basically decided to pull all my horror back out and fill this big fuck off unit behind me with horror, and just horror. And that's like wide enough to get like double. Well, you can get like 4 lots of DVDs in each cube. They're like massive cubes. So I tried to fill that with just horror, and obviously like it's not tall enough to get like 2 rows of Blu-rays on DVDs on top of each other, but there's like double behind. So each one of these here is like double stacked. So you've got like DVDs in the front, DVDs behind it, and then at the back you can get DVDs above, but not quite. So I'm trying to build like some little risers so I can like put another layer of DVDs behind so I can see what's there. At the moment I've used like Blu-rays, just random Blu-rays like to go across to fill the gap. So I've got like all my Disney's there, like stuck in the middle of the horror, and I've got like bits of Blu-rays all over the place. And then there's more Blu-rays over on the actual Blu-ray shelf at that end of the room. It's like, it's pretty crazy. I think this afternoon I'm going to pull it all out. But I've tried to get most of my horror back in cases and back on the shelves. Because I really want this just to be horror movies, and that's it. I just want this just to be horror movies because they're the ones I watch the most. The other movies I got, I like to keep them and collect them, but it's predominantly the horror stuff I want to get to, and having them on the shelf. Like, there's a lot of stuff I haven't watched in years, and since putting them back on the shelf, I found myself going, oh, I can watch this now and watch that now, and that's the whole purpose of collecting, really, isn't it? It's not like I'm going to collect stuff, but I'm going to take it out of its plastic case and put it into a big fuck off CD wallet. So I've been doing that, but you know, I'm pretty sure I would have pulled the Candymans out by now. I know a lot of my Region 1 stuff I haven't put back on the shelves yet, but I thought I might have done with the Candymans, but can't see them on there. So I got Candyman, and I got Candyman Farewell to Flesh. Is that number 3 or number 2? I can't remember. And then the last one, the very last one I've picked up. Again, this is another one that I thought I've got somewhere. Actually, I have got this, but the cover on my copy is wrecked to fuck, and this is in good condition. So there you go. Brain Dead. Yeah, or Dead Alive as it's known to you guys in the States. Always hated this DVD cover art we have over here. I wish we could just have the fucking awesome logo with a face and everything, but yeah, Brain Dead. When Brain Dead's at a car boot sale for 50p, you pick it up. I really have got an addiction. Yeah, I didn't spend a lot of money, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, like today I've spent about a tenner at car boot, and I got all that stuff. In the week I spent probably about another tenner, not including Moana, which cost me 15 quid, but that's neither here nor there. We'd do that for the collection. But yeah, so you know, it's not a bad haul. Keep me going for a while. I'm really trying to just stay focused on my horror collection now, in between making my own movies. So yeah, guys, that's a half an hour long video. It's probably long enough of hearing me waffle on a Sunday. I'm now going to spend the rest of the day sorting everything out, getting all this stuff on the shelves. So I'm going to try and make these little risers I'm talking about, so you can see what I mean. I've kind of done it on that row there, you can kind of see it. What I've done there is I put some VHS tapes down so I can lift the back row up. Yeah, it kind of works, but I'm going to try and go even higher up so I can pull them forward a little bit, because if you lift the discs up, they go to about there, so I could just pull them over so they could just rest on top of those ones. Yeah. Anyway, I'm waffling, and you really probably weren't interested in hearing about my fucking shelf structure of my horror movies, but there you go, I've done it. Anyway, guys, speak to you all soon. Please comment, like, subscribe, talk about movies.